it going? My name is Ben Reilly, 28 years old. I'm the CEO and founder of Bar Holding and the Apex team at Keller, Southern Arizona. I started this company, I started this vision of building a vertically and horizontally integrated real estate company when I was 18 years old. My parents helped me purchase my first house, and basically from then on, I've been in love with and passionate about real estate. At this point, I have a licensed construction company, a property management group, and a full service sales team. Yeah, so as the team leader and CEO of Bar Holdings, basically my job is to facilitate the needs of all the different business segments that we have going. So whether it's Steven needed something for the residential team, or one of our other guys in the property management space, Thomas, needing something, it's really just to be there to facilitate their needs at this point, because we're rapidly growing and they're taking the reins of each of those businesses. We have built a vertically and horizontally integrated platform to invest in real estate, and now it's taking that and using it in a way that we can make a huge impact on the community, on individuals, and for ourselves. We're in this to make money as well. So our passion, really, myself and pretty much everyone on the team, is to build wealth through real estate. I'm very excited about where we're at as a company. We have a lot of plans for expansion and growth that really just excite me at a high level because of everything that we're doing and the opportunities that it's creating, not only for myself but for my team members. We're looking at Kansas City, we're looking at Albuquerque. Both locations, I have really close friends that I've had since college that are in real estate as well, and it's just finding a way to bring what we're doing here in Tucson and help give them some horsepower. We really have a family company and a family atmosphere at our company. That our culture is very much in tune with being there for each other. Two of my brothers work for this company, my best friends since I was 14, and now all the other guys, I look at them as family as well. So it's just really exciting to see their growth as we continue on this journey. Yeah, I think a couple things. One, nobody outworks me, right? Like from the time I was 18 years old, I have a really strong work ethic. I think the other component that really makes me a valuable member of this team and gives me the ability to run this company is I have really strong empathy and emotional intelligence. So being able to relate to the team members and understand where they're at in their career, even where they're at in their day, what they need to take things to the next level is probably my strongest gift.
My name is Jake Arnold, and I'm 33 years old. So I was a track and field athlete here at the University of Arizona. I was a walk-on that became a 2-time national champion. I then ran professionally, became a 3-time indoor US champion and now 1-time outdoor champion. Competed at the World Championships twice and was alternate to the Olympic team. So I ran for ASICS for about 6 years. I retired in 2013 after a back injury, which allowed me to start focusing back on the real estate investment side. So Ben and I have a very interesting story while I was investing in real estate. In 2011, I outbid him on a home just by a couple $100. And so he came up to the house that I had bought and asked me if he could buy it. Over time, we stayed in touch. I moved away for a little while to train somewhere else, and he started managing my homes. And then we started talking a little bit more business, where we kind of started the Apex team. Well, right now, my main focus is the KW commercial and apartments. I work on the investment team, where I work with investors from across the nation, and doing as big as 61 unit apartments, all the way down to the flips that we do. I'm the big person behind finding all the projects that our investors do, for flips to rentals, to multi-units to apartments. So that's my bread and butter right now. Well, Ben and I have the same alignment for those goals. When we started the team, we wanted a different type of culture where people could achieve their dreams and work in a culture where they felt like they could achieve more than they could just having a 9-to-5 job. And so that's one of the big things, that I want to achieve going forward, is seeing a company that everyone is being successful. We've been able to find rental properties and investments for many employees in the company, but also, giving back to the community and allowing people to, grow their wealth, which is huge. A lot of people aren't able to do that, and we've been able to help quite a few people just in our company, as well as clients, to do that. So that's our vision for the company, is to really have something that people can grow with us and have a culture that we're proud of and that people really want to be part of. Well, just recently, a couple weeks ago, my hometown of Santa Rosa, California, was burned down. Thousands of homes were taken away, including my grandmother's house that my father grew up in. My parents' house was only a mile away. They were evacuated. So I'm actually going back next week to see what I can do to help clean up and start helping my hometown rebuild. Ben and Drew went back to Houston to help after the floods. We really want to be able to help communities. I had about 40, 50 friends, families lose their homes, and you know, I don't even know the final count yet. Even had friends of friends that parents or grandparents passed away in the fires. So it's been a very emotional thing, and it was a stressful 2 weeks where the fire was at the doorstep of my parents. So headed back next week to kind of stay with family and kind of feel what's going on and help my grandmother get back on her feet and see what we're doing next now that she doesn't have a home. So my knowledge of this market, but also real estate in general, has been a huge thing. I grew up, Dad was a lumber salesman. He built our house in '91, so I helped out. I helped build a granny unit, I call it, because grandma lived there. So I've been around this realm of housing and stuff. So that knowledge that I have since I was born, I didn't realize I was learning all that stuff. That knowledge behind it has really put me up on that leadership role where almost any question that these guys have, I have, you know, almost 10 years worth of knowledge just in the real estate realm, but so much more behind it that I can help out, you know, teach these younger agents what's going on in this industry.
I'm Noel Deslets. I'm 45 years old, and I'm one of the founding partners of the Apex Brands and Bar Investment Holdings. I met Ben because we had investment properties that were right next to each other. We found that we had some similarities in our approach to investing in real estate and similar experiences. We started to find ways to collaborate and ended up finding I think we had some really good synergy with me being able to run some projects and him being able to find some investors to help us start to build something. It made sense to kind of add on the other components, the sales component and other facets that have really made us what we are today. My background in construction was really a strong factor because we were able to apply all of my knowledge to make sure that things were done on a high level and done in an efficient manner, which provided great returns for our investors. So I kind of see myself in the back room or under the hood of the race car, so I'm like the engine. My day-to-day, making sure that things are running and making sure that the investments are sound and making sure that we're providing the best possible value that we can as a return to somebody that's investing in real estate is my focus and my forte and really my arena where I work every day. I think for the future, what I really would like to see is for us to grow into a place where we're managing hundreds of millions of dollars in assets for not only investors, but for ourselves to build wealth for everybody that's on the team and all of our partners in business so that we can do all the things that we want to do. Yeah, I think that one of the things that I bring to the company as a leader in that role is my ability to coach and to lift people up and to see things from different directions and perspectives. And so because I'm positive, enthusiastic about that, it shines, it comes through, and people understand that I'm really genuine about that.
My name is Stephen McNair Laurice. I'm 28 years old. Beginning of next month, I'll be 29. It's crazy, getting old. Not really, I'll be young forever. Born in Phoenix, I grew up in Sierra Vista. Super active in the community, in church as well. I graduated from high school, from Buena High School in Sierra Vista. Went to the University of Arizona, graduated from there. I lived in Mexico for a few years. I speak Spanish fluently. In 7th grade, Ben moved to Sierra Vista. His dad was in the military, and I met Ben through swimming, actually, which we both competed in competitively. We hit it off right off the bat. You know, when you wake up every morning at 5:30 in the morning and you swim with someone, like how many 13-year-olds do you know that can do that, right? There's a select few. When you can do that on a regular basis at a very high level, you learn to trust people like that. Just because they're hardworking, you know you can count on them. And like I said, Ben and I we became very good friends really quickly. I always saw Ben as like a innovator. He was a visionary, right? Always, even from that age, it was crazy, right? I'll tell you a quick story. One day his neighbor needed help moving his house, and they hired two 14-year-olds or 15-year-olds, I can't remember exactly how old we were, to move their entire house. Like antiques. They bought a U-Haul, the biggest U-Haul you can buy. It was just Ben and I, and we filled the entire place up. And I was just mind blown that these established couple hired two 15-year-olds to do their whole move. But for whatever reason, they trusted us, and I always knew that if I hung out with Ben enough, we could create something super special. I mean, right around that same age, he saw the power of real estate and always said, we're getting into real estate and you're gonna come with me. Right now, I am the sales team leader. So I run the residential sales team with the Apex team. I found my passion in sales just because my love of people and interaction with people. Right now, currently, my biggest responsibility is to train the new agents that we bring on, that we recruit. I train them to become the best possible agents they can be. Well, I guess short term is to become the #1 residential sales team in Tucson, and then grow it as big as possible, right? I mean, we're talking numbers like 500, 600 million, that some of them are pushing that $1 billion number. That's the kind of vision we have in place to establish something like that. That's our goal ultimately, is to become the biggest, best real estate company in the country. At the Apex team, our focus and what we teach you as soon as you come on is you need to find what motivates you. What is it that gets you up every morning, right? If you can find what motivates you, that inner subconscious motivation that you will stop at nothing to achieve, you can really do anything. I want to teach the agents to find that, because if they can associate whatever they're doing with that, they will be motivated to achieve anything in this life, right? My favorite quality is my ability to teach and coach. That's the thing I love the most. I've always envisioned myself as a coach. That's what I plan on doing. I intend to be a bold coach moving forward, which is a training program with Keller Williams. I currently am in different roles within Keller Williams, along with our own Apex team in the coaching role.
So my name is Scott Aukerman. I am 22 years old. I am a student at the University of Arizona currently, studying economics, graduate in December. Very excited about that. And I actually met Ben a year ago, and I came to him, I said, I want to learn about real estate investing. Didn't know anything, was just an economics student, didn't know what a cap rate was, didn't know what cash on cash return, didn't know how much it would cost to fix up a floor. And he kind of took me under his wing and is essentially my mentor and taught me everything that I know about real estate. The first 6 months within the company, it was really Ben and Jake Arnold really guiding me through the process of what it takes to analyze a good investment deal. How do you get over those hurdles of someone buying an investment property, and how do you comfort them to make sure that they know it's a good deal and they're getting a strong investment. Now I'm full-time in the investment space. So I got my license in March and was residential. I was selling homes, helping people buy their dream home, helped a client who was actually in our office buy a house. And recently it shifted to solely investments, identifying properties that are good investments and sending it off to investors that it fits their needs. Maybe they want to do a flip, maybe they want to buy and hold. Anything along those lines, anything investment, that's what I'm doing. So our model's unique with the sales, construction, and management. My entire goal is to take this model into other cities. And we've really started to explore that recently, and that's really what I've been trying to build, is how can we move to a city and be able to be looped in with property owners, be looped in with wholesalers, be looped in with other agents around the city, so that when we go there, it's very streamlined. It's very interesting is I'm still relatively new. You know, I got my license in March. I haven't had it for a year. Those first 6 months, from October to about March, when I wasn't licensed, when I was learning under Jake and Ben, I really kind of went through a grueling period where Ben and Jake kind of really taught me by letting me fail. So I failed more times than I've succeeded, but that's where I learned the most. I know how to overcome those speed bumps, you know, that are along those lines, even if you're facilitating a transaction on the investment side or buying a property. Even as the host of the ROI podcast, you know, that's something people come to me asking me about investment. Because of this podcast, people know that I'm in the investment space, and they're coming to me asking questions about how do I invest, how do I talk to investors, etc.
So my name is Rahul Buta. I moved out here 4 years ago from California. I was raised actually on the Central Coast near Monterey and ended up moving to Los Angeles in my 20s. I got my master's from UCLA in directing and film production. After I graduated from UCLA, I ended up working for movie studios and production companies in the management side. My last job was actually the senior artist manager at a company called The Third Floor, which is a previs company in Los Angeles. So when I moved to Tucson 4 years ago from Los Angeles, I knew I was going to be doing a career change. Again, my background is in management in the film industry. So I started working with teams here in Tucson, real estate teams, and I really wanted to work with a team that was up and coming. I met Ben, I met the team, and I immediately loved their philosophy and the culture here. I knew we had the raw talent and the tools to really be the #1 team in Tucson. I wanted to be able to utilize all of my management experience in Los Angeles with the team here, so that's when I decided to join. So on the team, I really do a hybrid of things. I do recruiting for the team, coaching and training. I do client care. So one of the things I did when I first joined the team about 2 months in, I went to Ben and Steve and proposed that we implement a 90-day training program for new agents. I knew we were recruiting heavily and adding agents fast, and I thought, you know, a 90-day training program would be fantastic just to give the agents a really solid foundation early on in their real estate career. So very proud to say, you know, we've had 7 graduates from the 90-day training program. Really love working with new talent. One of the things that I love about the Apex team is our big why is to dream bigger, to live extraordinary lives through building wealth in real estate. We have meetings within the company where everyone goes around and talks about what their big why is. So some people talk about leaving, you know, a legacy for their children, or traveling, or buying a bunch of investment real estate. So my personal big why, I was actually born in Africa, Ethiopia, and my big why is I want to build schools in Ethiopia. So that's really my main purpose. Real estate is an incredible tool to build wealth. So my vision for the company, again, because I come from a management background, in LA, I worked with a lot of startups taking the companies to the next level, and I really believe this company, the Apex teams, we're going to firmly establish that #1 spot here in Tucson, as well as expanding to other cities in the United States. I think for me, because of my directing background, you know, studying at UCLA and then going into management, I have just learned a lot about leadership and management through being in the field, being in the trenches. But there's nothing that replaces that real life experience. And I've been blessed, again, to work with amazing people throughout my career. And I truly believe the Apex team and what we're doing is an incredibly special endeavor.
My name is Nicholas Reilly, and I'm 26 years old. So Ben's my brother. Ben started real estate really around 14. He always would do woodworking projects and stuff at home. He built a fantastic table for my parents. He was working with investors and everything down in Sierra Vista, where he'd go in and he'd just sweep the floors. He'd go in and sweep the floors. When you're doing something, you give it your all, and when you're done, you grab the broom, you sweep up, clean up, and you move forward. I worked with Ben back in 2009 through 15. He was buying investment properties. For his first investment property, I helped him work on the house. He moved on to bigger and better things, and I was in school. With ROTC and everything else I had going on, I wasn't able to help as much. I was working up at Adobe Mountain School in Phoenix, where I learned a lot about leadership and just being on what it meant to be on a team. From there, I went out to California for about a month. And while I was out in California, I got a phone call from Ben where he was like, "Look, Nick, I know you're out in California, you're helping mom, you're helping grandpa, but I have a position for you at the Apex team, and I'd love for you to come back." And then I moved back into Tucson, where I've been for the last year. I am the company's flex player. I basically go where they need me to go. I help get the systems in place to move me on to the next system. I started here working as Ben's assistant, just kind of helping get everything under control for him. More recently, I moved into property management, where I am the maintenance manager and helping rebuild those systems and get everything in place to bring on the next person so I can move back into wherever they need me next. My vision for the company is that we're able to go into a community and help rebuild it and kind of really bring up the market for the homes and just help families in those areas as well. With our food drives that we've done, we've raised over, I think it was over 10,000 pounds of food for different events that we do. And then we've raised toys for our toy drive, and we really have a giving heart here. And my own personal business goal, I'm working with another person on the team to invest in properties. We actually just bought our first property in August, and we're moving on to looking at number 2 or 3 as we're moving forward and where we want to invest next. Basically, I'm a key leader on this team because I'm able to jump into these positions. I'm able to understand what's going on, and I'm able to see where pitfalls might be so we can fill those holes before somebody falls into it. So we're able to figure out what's wrong, identify it, fix it, and then move forward and be able to fill in any missing problems. And I help with the problem solving, and I help see the bigger picture so we know, okay, look, if this is where we're going, this is what we need to do.
I am Thomas Reilly. I'm 24, almost 25. I am his second youngest brother of 4. How did I get the job? I worked on construction with him since I was 14, helping him put in tile, do roofs. I worked as a gopher for him, so I'd go for this, go for that. And then we realized that I had a lot of potential on the real estate property management side. So he helped me get my real estate license and put me in the position running management. At about 15 years old, he realized that he could live for free if we went to college and did everything right. So I'd say at about 15, he started putting those pieces together. But he worked in my grandpa's shop doing carpentry, and he worked in different people's places he always loved building. He always loved the idea of building stuff. And I think for housing, it was just the next level of that for me. So I run all of our properties that we manage. This includes the in-house, the properties we own, as well as for other owners and investors. I make sure that the properties are rented out, they have good tenants, and help the owners make sure that everything's taken care of in the home. I have 4 people on the team, including myself. I have the 2 assistants, Nydia and Melanie, and then my brother Nick is helping me run the maintenance at the moment. My vision for the company is to be the biggest, best team in Keller Williams and one of the most known names in real estate through building houses, remodeling houses, renting them out, and helping people really gain wealth through real estate. One of my personal business goals is to grow the management side to over 500 units in Tucson locally, and I want to be at over 1,000 units, in different cities. I know that one of our goals is to expand, and I want to be a part of that expansion. I've been here really since pretty much the beginning of the Apex team, and I have a lot of experience in the growth as we've gone from 6 people sitting around a table to over 20 people on the team. In my experience on the management side, I'm able to really help the sales and the construction guys get an understanding of how their jobs affect, or how my job affects theirs. I skydive. I just recently received my skydiving A license, so I'm excited about getting that wherever it'll take me. And then I play guitar, swim, and just try, all those little hobbies that I pick up for a few months and drop off. I'm trying to pick them all up again.